Hi there! Welcome to Introduction to Selenium and its components. In this recording, I'll be covering half of the objectives present in front of you. So what I'm going to do here is, in today's recording, I will list the different types of applications and testing, discuss regression testing and functional testing. So we'll start by understanding the difference between web application and desktop application. A web application is an application program that is stored on a remote server or delivered over the internet through a browser interface. And if I talk in layman terms, anything that's running over the internet like Facebook, Gmail, Yahoo, they are web applications. Okay, Amazon, eBay, and anything that's present on the desktop and that runs standalone is your desktop application. So you can have any standalone application on your desktop which will run only on your computer and not over the internet. So that's desktop application. What is testing? It can be stated as the process of validating and verifying a software program or application or product. So you can see here that it's a process of validating and verifying a software program. Why do we need to do that? Because I've got a product. Let's say I've got an application to develop. So I will go through the design phase, then I'll develop it. Now before I will deliver it to the customer, I need to make sure that I give him what he expected from me. So what will I do? I will first test the application, and then after making sure that okay, it works as per the expectations, then I'll give the delivery, right? So that's what testing is. It's a process of validating and verifying a software program. And the product should meet the business and technical requirements that guided its design and development. As I said, when you will present the final product, it should meet the business and technical requirements. It should work as per the expectations of your client. What is regression testing? It's very important for us to understand what is regression testing, what is functional testing before we move ahead with automation testing, because both of them are related. We need to understand the purpose of having automation testing into picture, for which we first need to learn what is regression testing. Regression testing is testing existing software applications to make sure that a change or addition hasn't broken any existing functionality. So what is regression testing? It's a testing, it's testing existing software application. Okay, that means you already have a software. All you have to do is you have to make sure that none of the existing functionalities of that product have been broken because of some new addition or change. Now these new changes can be anything. It could be a bug fix, it could be an enhancement, it could be a patch, or maybe configuration changes. The purpose of regression testing is to ensure that changes such as those mentioned above have not introduced new faults. So when it comes to understanding regression test suites, because if I have to do regression testing, obviously I will have to prepare regression test cases inside the regression test suite. So what kind of cases are we going to have in in that regression test suite? Those test cases which will actually test the major on or main functionalities of your application, okay, to make sure that those major functionalities have not been broken because of any fix or patch or enhancement. This is what your regression testing does. Now if I'm saying that it is the testing that we do on the existing product, it further means that bugs might come anytime, and I will have to do this regression testing every time I will get a bug fix to make sure that my existing functionality is not broken. That means I have to do regression testing a number of times. And if that includes a lot of manual effort, then it's a good idea to automate this regression test suite. That's how regression testing and automation are interlinked. What is functional testing? Functional testing basically is the testing of functions of component or system. Alright, let me just read it first. Functional tests tend to answer the questions like, can the user do this? Or does this particular feature work? It basically describes what the system does. Let's say I'm opening Facebook. The first thing Facebook should make sure of is that the user is able to log into his or her Facebook account. So that's a function of Facebook. And in functional testing, we basically test the functions of an application. We do not mean to say that I'm going to test some coding function or a Java function here. No. I have to test the functions of an application. Now, it could be of functions of a component or system as a whole, right? Functional testing does not imply that you are testing a function of your module or class. Like I said, functional testing tests a slice of functionality of the whole system. So you're basically making sure that what you are expecting a user to do on your application, or a user is expecting to perform on your application, he should be able to do that without any error. So that is functional testing. Now let's understand the difference between manual and automation testing. Manual testing is time consuming and tedious, whereas automation testing is fast. Now let's say I have to do 1,000 plus transactions, and in those transactions I basically have to provide in details of some consumers, let's say. Okay, so I need his name, his address, and his other data. All right, let's say there are 4 or 5 things I need to know about that consumer, and I have to do 1,000 plus transactions manually, and then I have to get the report and fill in the report whether the test case got passed or failed. Is that possible? Maybe yes, but that's a tedious thing. And I'm sure anybody doing 1,000 plus transaction would tend to get bored, or out of that boredom, he will tend to insert some error while testing or miss some steps. So obviously this is time consuming and tedious, whereas automation testing is all about automating the process. So it's faster than your, much faster actually, than your manual testing. Dependency on humans. Lights out execution not possible. That means if I'm doing if I have to do manual testing, then I need some human to do that. Whereas in automation testing, everything is already coded. All you have to do is you have to run the test suite. The knowledge that you need to run a test suite would just be a few steps, which anybody can do. Not only the tester, but anybody literally. Not accurate all the time. Like I said, when you will do 1,000 plus transactions, you will tend to miss steps. That means accuracy will get affected. Whereas in automation, all your test steps have already been coded and they've been tested for their accuracy. So that's the reason automation testing will give you accurate results whenever you will run the automation test suite. Huge investment on human resources. Now let's say you've got a testing team with manual testers, then obviously you will have at least 3 testers in a team. You're investing into human resources basically. Whereas with automation testing, you need just one or at max 2 people to actually create the automation test suite. And then once it's done, I'm not saying there's no effort into it, definitely there is, but what I'm saying here is after this effort is done of creating the automation test suite, anybody can run this automation test suite. Anybody. Okay, next point. Frequent execution not possible, whereas in automation, frequent execution is possible. Quite understandable. I can't run regression test suite 10 times a day if it has 50 or 100 test cases. But if I have got that regression test suite automated, then obviously I can run it as many times as I want. Not suitable for regression testing, and it's suitable for regression testing. Again, the same reason. Why is it not suitable manual testing? Because I might get 4 bug fixes in a day, and every time I get a bug fix, I need to run the regression test suite. So is it possible to run the test suite manually 4 times or 5 times? No. Then what is the solution? Let's automate this regression process. Okay, what are the advantages of automation testing? Saves time and money for the obvious reasons. Everything is predefined and pre-coded. So there's nothing which will take time here. It's just the process which will take time. Money, because you don't need too many human resources to run your test cases manually. Increases test coverage. Obviously, when you will create the automation test suite, you can create it in such a way that it can cover more area of your testing. Improves accuracy. Like we discussed in the previous slide, I cannot tend to make a mistake because everything is pre-recorded or everything has been pre-coded. All the instructions are already there, so I can't miss any step. Frequent test execution. I can run the test suite virtually as many times as I want. Fewer human resources. How many do I need? Maybe 2 at max during the creation of the automation test suite, and then anybody can run the test suite. Reusability. Once created, you can run it for years, right? Reliability. You can rely on it. Why? Because you know that it's going to give you accurate results. So it's very much reliable. Disadvantages, no. Challenges, yes, in automation testing. Why have I given the subject like this? Disadvantages, no, and challenges, yes. Because uh, when I was creating this slide, I actually wrote disadvantages of automation testing. Then I thought, have I ever considered these things as disadvantages? Actually, no. These are challenges, but not disadvantages. All right. So, what are these challenges? Proficiency required, debugging the test script, complex analysis. So, proficiency required where? You should have coding skills. If you don't have coding skills, you can't work as an automation tester, right? And don't worry right now, I'm gonna get those skills in you. Okay, debugging the test script. How to debug the test script? Let's say I've got an exception. Now, is it because of some error on the website or web application, or is it because of my line of code? So you need to do the debugging. You need to go through the debugging process, right? Complex analysis. Again, these two are interrelated. Why complex analysis? Because sometimes you can't be sure where the exception is coming from. You need to get into the root of it. So that could be complex sometimes. So this is the reason why automation testing has a few challenges and not disadvantages. Why disadvantages? Learning to code is not a disadvantage, it's an advantage. But yes, definitely, if you have been a tester earlier and now moving to automation testing, then it's a challenge. It's not a disadvantage. All right. And we all will work together on this disadvantage and make it an advantage for your career. All right, guys, we'll keep it till here for this recording. I hope you understood all the concepts well. If you have got any question, please feel free to post the questions. Thank you.